Robot1 here, coming at you with a new Yu-Gi-Oh video, and in today's Yu-Gi-Oh video we are going to be doing my ban list prediction video, talking about all the stuff that's going to get limited, ban, unlimited, semi-limited, and all of the above. And guys, sorry if my voice sounds a little messed up right now. I do have a cold and I can't really help my voice being all crackly and stuff. Like, my throat is really sore. It hurts to talk, but I want to do this video for you guys because I want to tell you guys what my ban list predictions are, seeing as we've got no sooner than the 2nd of April until the chances of a ban list coming out, and seeing as it's the 2nd of April when it will is no sooner than the 2nd of April, I want to have this video out before then. Even though I could do it on like a Monday or something, I would prefer to do it now just to get it out of the way, and so you guys can know what my ban list predictions are going to be. So without further ado, let's get into it because I want to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on this ban list. So, first ban card. I have White Dragon Wyvern Buster. A lot of you are probably thinking, why is this here? Well, I have a very specific reasons for why this card is here. This card is basically, with Batteryman Solar, a 2-card triple Colossus. And that is not fair. And the reason this card needs to be banned because of that is because of it's a very consistent card in the Thunder Dragon deck. This card single-handedly lets you banish a Raw, summon a Thunder Dragon from deck, and then just combo off consistently, or banish a Dark and all sorts of stuff. And also, it is the most likely card in the combo. It is the most common card in the combo, sorry, that is always ran up free. Like, honestly, in every Thunder Dragon deck you will ever see that plays Dangers, that plays all the Light of Sekka stuff, this card will be up free. And the reason for that is, it's 2 free summons. Basically, you summon this, you summon another monster, or you summon another a Solar, summon this, make Reaper-Docus, Wyvern Buster affecting Grave, search a Dark the Black Dragon. This card is 2 summons and it gets you into an instant summon Sork. That's not fair, and I personally feel like it will be banned for this because it is the reason this will be banned over the Dark one as well is because this one also works more with the dangers, being that you can just banish a random danger in your grave, you could just banish a Roar, you could just banish any dark monster in your grave, summon this out, and I feel like this will be banned over the Dark one because of that. And obviously both of them could be, obviously you could limit both of them to 1, because that would hurt the consistency of the deck as well, but I feel like just banning one of them stops the ability to search out the other one, and honestly, the Dark one being up free isn't a big problem because the Thunder Dragon deck, if you're banishing like if you're banishing a Hawk or a Matrix, it isn't that big a deal in the deck. It really isn't that big a deal because of sure, Hawk can get its draw effect, Matrix can search another copy, but it's not the best. So personally, I feel like the White Dragon will be banned. It hurts the consistency of the deck, it hurts the combo ability of the deck, and it is a card that I could see actually getting banned very easily. But yeah, that's the first ban card. Let's go into the next one. So the next card that I believe is going to be banned is Rank Up Magic Launch, the Phantom Knights one, and that is because there is a few reasons for this. One being mainly Azathoth. I think this card is going to be banned majority over Azathoth purely because Azathoth on your own turn is fine, but being able to make Azathoth on your opponent's turn is out of order. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, he's promoting FTKs and stuff. But honestly, this card is not a broken card. Azathoth is not a broken card on its own. It's only broken when you put other cards into the mix. Like, this card is searchable and allows you to go into Azathoth. And sure, Azathoth is the reason why this card is broken, but you've also got to remember, this card can make more than just Azathoth. It can make Kali Yuga, it can make Utopia Kaiser, to my knowledge now. That's getting a reprint, yay. And all sorts, but this is a card that really is just a problem. It's a card that just allows you to make Azathoth on your opponent's turn, prevent your opponent from playing the game, and Azathoth on your own turn is fine, so just banning the rank up magic that is also searchable for a card like Phantom Knight Silent Boots or Phantom Knight Rusty Bardich This card is the card that needs to be banned. Hell, I made a full Konami fix the ban list video on this card because I feel like it's the card that mainly needs to be banned out of all the cards in the Orcus deck. And even if it does get banned, and like and people are saying, oh, well, how are you gonna sell Dane? Well, Orcus are still a deck on their own. They're still very powerful. They can still make the Tropological Bomber Dragon combo, and they still have all their other decent plays. So banning the Rank Up Magic launch doesn't hurt the deck at all, and it's still a deck that can be hit very easily. So Rank Up Magic, I believe it needs to be banned. It will most likely be banned over Azathoth, in my personal opinion, because Azathoth on your own turn is completely fair. But yeah, so next ban card, and the only other card that I believe will be banned, Sky Striker Mobilize. I believe it's Mobilize, isn't it? Sky Striker Mechanism Multi-Roll. Sky Striker Mechanism Multi-Roll, basically Multi-Roll, is the card in Sky Striker that I believe is most likely going to get banned on this list. A lot of you are probably thinking, no, it should be Engage and stuff, or Engage should be hit instead, but here's my reasoning for why Konami will ban a Multi-Roll. Basically, Sky Strikers right now, their main focus is performing multiple summons and then recycling all their cards back into their field. And banning multi-roll basically gets rid of the consistency of recycling all your cards from the graveyard. So if you activate like 4 Sky Striker cards, then you get to reset 4 Sky Striker cards. But without multi-roll, the deck just goes into focusing more on stuff like Kagari. The deck start focusing more on Engage. The deck loses a lot of its recyclability. So if you ban multi-roll, the deck's consistency takes a hit, or not its consistency, but its recyclability takes a hit, and I believe that is what the deck really does need to lose right now. Because sure, the deck is really consistent, but in a long game, the only cards that are really keeping you alive are cards like Kagari and cards like multi-roll. So I feel like multi-roll is going to get banned because of this, and it is the most likely card that I can see in Sky Striker getting banned right now, seeing as we have a somewhat leaked, I believe, Sky Striker Mobilize Engage reprint on the horizon. So I can actually see this card getting banned, and there is a high chance of it getting banned. But next, on to cards that I believe will be limited, starting off with Danger Jackalope. Danger Jackalope is definitely going to get limited. It is a card that just gives you so much free resource, being that, oh, I discard myself, I summon a danger from deck of any level, I discard something else, I summon myself, get a draw with a 2 chaos. And I can also be normal summoned. This card is a card that does need to be banned. It's a free upstart, it's always free resources and always a free body, so it's a card that I definitely feel like needs to be hit. And the other card that goes along with it, Danger Nessie, same reason. It's a card that gives you free resources. If it summons itself, it gets you a draw. And if it actually discards itself, it just searches Jackalope, another Ness. I don't think you can search Nessie actually. A Jackalope, a Ness, Jackalope, a Mothman, a Sleuth Shinoko. It just searches you so much that it's like these 2 dangers are the cards that I believe will be limited in the Danger archetype. I don't see Snake getting limited because Snake on its own is fine. It's basically like Terratop, and Terratop on its own isn't great, but with something like Take-a-Tom Borg is good, but Snake on its own is fine, and I can see these 2 being the ones that will get limited purely because they are the ones that give you the majority of your consistency in the Danger archetype, and these 2 being limited also doesn't hurt Danger massively. It just means that the consistency of Danger does go down a bit, which is why I feel like needs to happen for that archetype as well. But next, another limited card in Sky Striker Kagari. If multi-roll doesn't get banned, I can see this definitely getting limited. If one of them doesn't, if they both get hit, hey, I'm happy with it, I don't care. I just want to see this deck get hit to some degree because it definitely does need to be hit. But Kagari is another card that allows you to just get constant recyclability, being that you summon it, it makes itself bigger for every spell in the grave, and it lets you recycle Engage, Multi-Roll, Widow Anchor, all these different cards in the graveyard, and I believe this is the card that maybe needs to go, because it gives you 2 Engages per turn, and that's not fair. Plus, if you limit this card, it kind of deals with the grind game quite a bit, and it means they have to play more inconsistent cards, such as the Skybase, the Sky Striker Skybase. So Kagari, definitely a card that I can see going to 1 as well. Next, Yugioh. This card needs to go to 1, and this card needs to go to 1 not only for its for main reasons such as Fun Dragon, but just in general, seeing as this is a Link 4 that lets you draw 4 cards. Now, I understand that it is a broken card, but I also have to bring up the point that at 1, it's fair. This card at 1 is fair. Like, a Link 4 like this is actually sure. Link, like I can make a whole video talking about how Link 4s are all broken, but Suruga is one of those Link 4s that I think is actually quite fair. And just being able to draw 4, put 3 back, sure, it sounds like a Pokemon card, and sure, it's pretty broken, but you need to use 4 different monsters with different names to be able to summon Suruga and get that effect. And being able to just summon a monster from your hand is fine, giving 300 boost to anything that summons to a pointer it points to. Hell, you're giving your opponent a pointer as well. Suruga is fair on its own, but when it goes into the category of being up multiples in a deck, where the decks just spam out multiple Suruga, getting tons of draws, then going tons of different combos, that's when Suruga goes into a big, like, why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why are you free? Why aren't you banned? The card is a good card, and it's not a broken card, but on its own, on multiples, it's broken. But this is a card that I see being a card that should go to 1, purely because up 1 is completely fair, but more than 1, the card just becomes insane. So I see Suruga definitely getting limited on this list. It's a card that just does so much in its own right, and definitely needs to be limited. So Suruga to 1, and the last card that I believe that will go from high up to limited is Artefact Sanctum. Now, I see a lot of people saying that Artefact Scythe should be banned. I personally don't feel like Artefact Scythe needs to be banned. I feel like you should just limit Sanctum, and I have a couple of reasons for this as well. First of all, it gets the brilliant treatment. Being that, and what I mean by brilliant treatment is, well, I go to 1, I become so much less consistent because I can't be trap tricked. I'm not on multiples anymore. So if I draw the Garnet, I'm more likely to ruin myself. If I draw both the Garnet and the 1 Sanctum, then it's a big pain in the ass. It gets that sort of treatment because of that, and I feel like that Sanctum going to 1. Would just, it would mean that Artefact Scythe isn't as bad as it once was. Because sure, Artefact Scythe is a very good card. It is a very good card, and it could possibly be banned, but I don't see a card like Artefact Scythe getting banned. Sure, the card says you can't summon from your extra deck for a turn, but when you look at it in the big picture, Scythe on its own isn't the problem. It's not the card that's summoning out Scythe. It's more the card that's summoning out Scythe than Scythe itself, being that Artefact Sanctum just summons Scythe directly from your deck for free. And the fact that you can set it from your deck using cards like Trap Trick, you can draw it off multiple different cards, and I know that's every card in the game, but hear me out. And obviously, you're playing 6, as I said, because of Trap Trick. So, personally, I feel like Artefact Sanctum is the card that's going to get hit more than Artefact Scythe, and that's mainly because it would just hurt the consistency. It'll get the brilliant treatment. If you draw your Garnet and Scythe, it sucks. So, yeah, I can honestly just see Artefact Sanctum going to 1 instead of Scythe being banned. So, yeah, my personal thoughts on that. Plus, it also hits Solomon Great to a big degree, seeing as Solomon Great are playing this card quite a bit, and this is the hit that I believe they'll do to Solomon Great, because honestly guys, outside of this, I don't see Solomon Great getting hit, because sure, the deck is really, really good, but it's just came out, structure decks are still on shelves, Konami aren't going to hit a deck that they just released, and I know people are saying they will, but I just don't see it. So I feel like Artefact Sanctum will go to 1, hitting the card to quite a bit, and it will hit the controllability of Solomon Great to a degree as well. So Solomon Great get a light hit as well, just like Thunder Dragon. So Yeah, but for 2 cards that I believe that will come to 1, from ban to 1, I believe Double Iris Magician is going to come from ban to 1. This is mainly because trap cards are really slow in the game right now. I don't feel like Iris being up multiples at 1 in the game is really going to break pendulums to a degree. Sure, you can target a Dark Spellcast to give it double attack. What's that going to do? Sure, you can search Star Pendulum Graph or Time Pendulum Graph. Not the best, seeing as you still got all these other cards. And I honestly just see this card going to 1, because it's not a card that will really break pendulums. Like, stuff like Astrograph being banned, stuff like Electromite being at 1, I don't see that. I don't see Double Iris Magician coming to 1 being a broken resource and just ruining the game. So, Iris to 1, and also, the other card that I believe will come to 1 is Heavy Storm. Now, the reason I believe Heavy Storm will come to 1 is because we're just in such a format where almost every deck is playing so much back row. Just some examples: Sky Striker, Guru, Solomon Grey, Altergeist if you still see them. All representations of decks that just set so much back row, and then just pass the turn. And seeing as we're in a format where where this is just so much and just so big, and just like floodgates are just so prevalent in areas, I believe it's time that I feel like it's just finally time where we can see Heavy Storm come from ban to 1. And hell, looking at the OCG, they have both Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster, so giving us Heavy Storm as a test for like Harpy's Feather Duster or something, I feel like is quite fair. And also it will make players play the game a little more carefully. It will make trap players not play so big on these. And also we've seen cards like Solemn Judgment come back, so even if you do get Heavy Storm, then you have something like Solemn Judgment to stop them. And if you're playing against Solomon Greats, they have the Raw, so they have to waste the Raw on the Heavy Storm. So I believe Heavy Storm could come back to 1, definitely, because it's just a card that really does make players be more careful about their back row, and it gives you a way to like come back from like set 5 pass. So definitely something I can see happening as well. That's all I have for limited cards. I do believe all of these will be limited, honestly. Every one on this list, it definitely will be touched to some degree. Like the stuff that can come off the list, it could happen, it might not, but honestly, I could see it happening. But everything else, I definitely see all these cards being limited outside of those. I definitely do. But on to semi-limited cards, I only have 1 card that I believe that will be semi-limited. That is Thunder Dragon Colossus. Basically, same reason as Solomon Great to a degree. The deck has only been out for a very short time, and obviously making triple Colossus isn't fair. So I don't think they'll kill the deck, but I feel like semi-limiting Colossus gives the deck a little tap and makes it easier to break those triple Colossus boards. So I feel like Colossus going to 2 is definitely possible. It's a card that just says it's basically it protects itself. It stops your opponent from searching the game, at all, and it hits a ton of decks. It's definitely something I could see being semi-limited, and it won't kill the deck if it's semi-limited at all. The deck will still be around, the deck will still be relevant. It just means that they'll have to be more careful with how they use their Colossuses. So, yeah, definitely semi-limited Colossus. I can see it happening, definitely. And cards that are going to go straight to free. First of all, Necross of Shrit. Definitely a card that could come back to free. Seeing as we got Dual Power coming out just soon after the ban, the expected date, and seeing as Necross is getting a full reprint in Dual Power, highly doubt this card will not be coming back to free. After that, Stratos. It's done nothing at 1. It can come to free just as easy. Like, let's be honest. And Shadow Construct, Shadows have done nothing. They won't do anything to continue. And an Artefact Shadow deck won't work if Sanctum's at 1. So, yeah, I believe that will also happen. Plus, I believe Construct is getting a reprint in Dual Power. Don't quote me 100% on that, but I believe it is getting a reprint. But yeah, that's all my opinions on this upcoming ban list. I feel like everything on this list has a high chance of happening. Like Wyvern Buster, I could definitely see that getting banned, seeing as it hurts the consistency of Thunder Dragons and the summon ability and all of that. Rank up Magic Launch, adds a vote on your opponent's turn isn't fair. The Sky Striker hits. You need to hit the recyclability. With Engage having a rumored reprint, I definitely feel like I could see those cards getting hit. Danger, they need to be touched to a degree. Suruga needs to go to 1. Double Iris, Heavy Storm, definitely could see those coming back. Sanctum, Scythe's a Garnet. If you have 1 Sanctum, it won't be played. Colossus, they're not going to kill Fun Dragon outright. And the last 3 cards, Stratos and Construct, they don't need to be at 1 anymore. They can go to 3 just as easy. But guys, this is just my personal thoughts and opinions though. Honestly, everything on this list is my thoughts and opinions. It's everything that I think from my knowledge of the game in general that could come back, that might come back. I want to hear your personal thoughts though as well. Sorry. I want to hear what you think. I want to hear if you think cards are going to come back. I want to hear if you think cards are not going to come back. I want to hear if you think my list is trash. I want to hear if you think my list is good. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on what's coming out on the ban list. What's coming off? What's going on? I want to hear all of it. So please, guys, tell me in the comments section below because I feel like I'm right. Obviously, because I made the video. But I want to hear your thoughts and opinions as well. I want to get your points, your thoughts, and just your general knowledge of why these things might happen to you. But yeah, so if you want to tell me any of that, tell me in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video and agree with my list, don't forget to press the like button. Or even if you didn't agree and you just think it's great, press the like button. If you want to be notified, if you want to get my videos in your subscription box, don't forget to press the subscription button, the bell, the subscription button in the comments section below, plus the bell next to it, so you can be notified of those videos and streams that I do on Thursday afternoons at 8 PM UK time. And yeah, guys, I feel like we need a big list. Everything on this list will definitely hurt the game, hit these decks quite a bit, and I feel like it will balance the game a bit more. So, guys, that's just it. That's my video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Robotbat1, signing out. I want Stratos to free so bad. Please, Konami. It doesn't need to be limited. Later, all.